Hi, my name is Emerald, and welcome to the latest episode of the New Meta Podcast. And today, I wanted to talk about a few things. So, first of these is more of a question to my listeners, as I've heard differing things about this. So please comment or find me on PokemonCard.io at Dragon Shield to let me know. I would really appreciate it. Will Ninja Spinner be legal for Indianapolis Regionals? Because I know it is released on May 22nd as Chaos Rising in the US, and not Japan, But I'm not entirely sure if it will be legal for Indianapolis Regionals. So I'm hoping some of you all can answer me that, because if it is, it shakes the meta a lot. If it's not, well, whatever. We basically just lost Guardian, that's about it. Anyways, the main focus of this episode is going to be sort of going through this one city league, a few city leagues actually, and just kind of seeing some different deck lists and kind of looking at what I want. I'm going to maybe spend like 20 or so minutes on this, just kind of checking out decks that I maybe like or would enjoy as I kind of start getting some ideas for what I'm going to play to Indianapolis, because I need to start testing soon. And I'm going to be kind of going over, like, which ones I think I would like. I've already decided I don't want to play any kind of box or mid-range style deck, as usually when I play those, I play them wrong, and it doesn't end well when I try to play those. So we're at Champions League Fukuoka. This was yesterday, April 5th. What day is it? I'm lost, guys. Yeah, yesterday was April 5th, so this was yesterday. And one moment. Actually, if I do this. Here we are, okay. This is a Greninja EX Dusknoir deck with a 1/1 Frostlass line, which is interesting. They're also, even though the Mega Greninja EX is legal, they're not playing that, which is very interesting to me. It's a 3/2/2 line of Frogadier Greninja. I believe that's what it's called. It's in Japanese, but I believe that is what it's called. And then a 2/2/2 line of Dusknoir, Dusclops, Duskull, 2 Meowth, and then a 1/1 Frostlass line, Mega Frostlass, and 1 Badoo, 1 Latias, 1 Fez. I actually understand not running the Mega Greninja EX. I believe that if you're going to run a Greninja deck, you shouldn't run the Mega Greninja, because you need at least 3, not 3. You need at least 2 of them for it to make a difference, and then you have to run a fair amount of switches, which is, switches, witches. Didn't mean to say that. Switches, witches. Switches, witches. Cool. I don't know. You have to run switching cards like Surfing Beach, and to make it even viable, and then you've lost like 2 lines of, Frogadier, so then you have maybe 1 Greninja EX set up, which is probably not the greatest thing, because you'll want to have a backup. It's too much for something that can only make it a little bit better, and overall it makes the net power level of the deck go down, which is, it's not great. I think the Dusknoir line here is pretty good. There's nothing really I want to say about this. It's a Dusknoir line. The 2 Meowth is maybe a bit much. You could probably just run some Pokegears in here and be fine. I know Pokegear is not as good as Meowth, but the thing with Meowth is it's a liability where they can literally just. I mean, it's great to finish a game, just Meowth for something else. But if you have a Meowth on their bench, and your opponent has a Meowth on, or your opponent plays a Meowth, gets a boss, and then is able to just KO your Meowth on the bench, it becomes a liability. That's why I'm not much of a fan of it. I would prefer to run maybe one Meowth to close out a game instead of one Meowth or two Meowths to get set up. Because it just like, if you're, okay, so they're running 4 Lilies in here. You can run, okay, cut a Meowth, cut a Colress, because, oh, well, they are running Grand Tree. Well, first of all, cut the Grand Tree for, it's unfair stamp. Cut the tree for stamp, and cut a Colress, run 2 Pokegears and 1 Meowth. Wait, hold on. No, okay. Yeah, that's right, yeah. And then cut a Meowth, and then run 1 Meowth and 2 Pokegears, because 2 Pokegears, you're gonna get a Lilies off of that. Because, alright, think of this. You have to Ultra Ball for a Meowth, so that's net minus 2 cards. And if you're already at the point where you need a Meowth to get going, you can't really Ultra Ball 2 resources from your hand away. You have to either draw into it or Ultra Ball for it. And es no bueno, mi amigos, as they say in España, which means not very good, my friends, if you were non-bilingual such as me. Yeah, guys, I speak too. No, I don't I'm not fluent in Spanish. But, and then 1 Bidoof. I feel like the Bidoof is a safe bet here. I say if you are even evolving 1 stage, just run a Bidoof. I say for each stage you go up, run another Bidoof, but I'm cool with 1 here. 1 Latios. Latios, it is a liability, but it's also kind of necessary. Fez, also a liability. I feel like I'm in the position where you just need to bench Fez at the end of the game on your last turn, draw 3 cards, get what you need off those 3 cards. Same with Meowth, and then you have game in hand, hopefully. But, 4 Lilies, 2 Hilda, 2 Colress. Like I said, I think maybe cut a Colress from here. I don't think it's necessary to run 2 Colress, especially because you should be running Stamp, not Tree. It's their deck, and won a Fukuoka Champions League, or no, not Champions League, City League, but, 1 Brock Scouting. If you're that worried about Bidoof to run 1 Brock Scouting, just cut something else and run 2. You can't really run 1, because it's like, all right, now I have to Ultra Ball for Meowth. Oh, wait, I can't do that. I'm under item lock to get my Brock Scouting. It just feels kind of bad. It just feels kind of like they had an extra space and they didn't know what to fill it with. In that case, I say just fill it with a 4th candy or a 4th Pokepad or a second special red card. Like, there's a lot they could do here, but they're not I don't know. I'm not mad at them. I think they did a pretty good job. I haven't seen a deck list like this before, so I'm not gonna get too mad at them. But I feel like they could have done a bit better. 4 Poffin, 4 Ultra Ball, 3 Pad, 3 Candy, 2 Stretcher, 1 Switch, 1 red card, Grand Tree. That's driving me nuts. Jamming Tower. Jamming Tower feels pretty good in this format. It just overall feels pretty good. 6 Water, 3 Ignition. Nothing really special there. Like I said, could have maybe done some better stuff. Let's see. Is there anything else in this tournament? I don't want to run an Alakazam deck. It feels like it's so easy to counter with Xerosix. Because, okay, say your opponent is, let's go with Mega Meganium, right? Mega Meganium has, I believe it has 3, actually, let me go check this. It has 360 HP, so you need 15, 18. So you need 18 cards in your hand for that, right? You're probably going to have a few more, right? Because I don't know why they're not running the Special Grass Energy, maybe even just as a one of. But, I mean, they could run a Special Grass Energy in here. Oh, and actually, let's go with Mega Venusaur, because you need 19 cards in hand for that. You're probably going to have more, right? Let's say, okay, you take that out, and then you have, say you have 20 cards in your hand. You take that out, you have 23 cards in your hand. Then they Xerosix you, now you have 3 cards in your hand and 20 cards in the trash that you can't get back. That's the only problem I have with it. And I would actually be willing to play a Ogerpon Meganium deck. I like the deck enough. It just feels, in my mind, way too easy to counter. As there's that Ho-Oh from Surging Sparks, where if you have a Terra on your bench, it can do 200 damage. Just wipes these Megas off the board. And that's the only problem I have with Grass X, is they're too easy to counter, because a Pulse can, like, throw that in. And then, isn't there another thing Pult can run? I think there's another fighting type Pult can have. You know, Pult can have that. And now it is a lot harder to get set up. Well, and also, like, Zoroark, if they manage to Oko something, and you have a bunch of energy in the discard, right? Then they have Backdraft available, which is not good for you. Or so I'm actually leaning towards playing Zoroark at Indy, but I'm not entirely sure about it. So, like, any kind of Alakazam deck, I kind of just went on a tangent there, but any kind of Alakazam deck is out of the question. I don't even know what this Alakazam Dragapult list is. Just out of the question for me. So is a Lucario deck. I feel like I wouldn't enjoy it very much, and I don't want to spend my entire day looking at Lucarios, because that's boring. Now, I have seen this Bronzong Jellicent list popping up pretty recently. It's very interesting to me, but it's more of a control style, and I would not do well with the control style deck. It just wouldn't work out for me. I've been trying to convince Aiden to play this Empoleon Metagross deck. He doesn't want to, but hey Aiden, this is your favorite podcaster here, buddy. Hey, I know you're listening to this. Could you please play that deck? I'd really appreciate that. Rockets are also out of the question, as I just don't have any of the stuff for it, and I don't want to go get the stuff for it. It just doesn't feel right. I would play a Meganium deck or a Ogerpon deck. Maybe I would. Well, let's go back and look at some other city leagues. All right, let's see. We have, oh yeah, Raging Bolt is in the, oh my gosh. Holy cow. What the heck even is this list? I wish, guys, go to April 6th. There will be a Raging Bolt list. It's, what? It got first place in a different tournament. You know, it got first place in this tournament, and it got 8th place in another. 4 Bolts. First of all, that's a big red flag there. 4 Ogerpon. Second big red flag. 1 Koraidon. Not a big fan. 4 Lilies, 4 Crispin, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Pokegear, 4 Pokemon Catcher, 4 Bug Catching Set, 3 Terra Orb, 2 Energy Retrieval, 1 Unfair Stamp, 13 Grass, 4 Lightning, 4 Fighting. Like, what is even going on here? What? I'm not going to play this list, but it's really funny. This is a really funny list. I have no clue what is even going on here. Just go check it out. It's insanity. Okay. That is not one I would want to play. So we can go to Shiga. All right. I think we have some better ones. Yeah, I've seen actually some Mega Greninja decks popping up. So let's go look at this Raging Bolt. Okay, this one is not great. I was about to say a whole lot better. Oh my. What? I don't even know what some of these cards do. So it's 4 Teal Mask Ogerpon. Okay. That's a bit much. 3 Bolt. Still a bit much. 3 Mega Kangaskhan. Why do you need 3? Like, why do you need 3? You can't use more than 1. 3 Meowth. You're just asking for someone to win. 2 Latias. Okay, I can get by with that. A Lily's Clefairy. This episode has literally just turned into me screaming at Japanese players for their horrible deck lists. What in the world? 1 Fez. Okay, 1 Chinpao. Okay. What is this Passimian? Oh, okay. That's actually a really good card. Okay. Coordinated throwing 20 times. Attack does 20 damage for each of your basic Pokemon in play. So in bolts, how many would that be? That's a lot. All right, that's 8, 16. That's 100. 180. KO's Fez, KO's Meowth. I mean, I guess that's about it. I guess if you maybe hit some... Yeah, I like the Passimian, but it's... I think Koraidon is better because you can crisp into it without having a fighting energy, and it can more consistently do more damage. So and it also has a little bit more HP, which, I mean, usually doesn't make much of a difference. Retreat costs shouldn't matter because, you know, Latias. So, it makes sense. Koraidon makes more sense here. Other than that, and a Psychic Energy, the list seems pretty normal in terms of trainers. Except for the Cyrano. No clue why there's a Cyrano in here. Sorry I had some hiccups, guys. I eat an apple, and I can't talk. Whenever I eat an apple, it makes me, like, hiccup. I don't know why. Or burp. It's weird. So, sorry. We can look at this Greninja Dragapult list. I'm not super confident in this list, and see, this is the problem I have with it. It's a 4-2-2-2 line, and, you have to get, 3 of those you have to get set up. There's 1 Polton here. It's more for the Dracloak engine. They have a Neo upper. They don't even have the right I'm having a stroke. You know what energy it is. I'm not a big fan of this. I'm honestly not a big fan of a lot of these lists. I mean, I'm probably just going to stick with, a Zoroark or a Bolts or, a Teal Mask deck. I mean... Oh, what is this? What does this Enamorous do? I'm seeing cards in here that I have no clue what they do. Oh, this makes sense. If any of your Pokemon are the same type as your opponent's Pokemon and play, this attack does 120 more. Okay, so it does 200 damage if one of your Pokemon shares a type with another one of your opponent's Pokemon. This was a fun episode, honestly. I need to do this a little more because this is a really fun episode because I got to go look at some lists. I got to kind of see some of the ones I liked. I got to go scream at some Japanese players for their insanity. No offense to Japanese players, I didn't mean that. I mean, some of you guys are crazy, but I mean, some Americans are crazy. I mean, all in all, I think it was worth it to go look at some of those. I will be honestly looking at some more too. probably, maybe not as an episode, but I can try and do that. And I mean, we've gone for 20 minutes now. So it's content and I have something to do. And I would really appreciate it if you all could tell me when Chaos Rising will be legal, because if it is legal for indie, that gives me a few more options. If it's not, then I need to start looking at some different city leagues. But yeah, thank you all so much for listening. Before I leave, go check out my other podcast on Spotify, The Noodle and the Thinker, that has 2 D's in noodle, one for different or delusional, whichever one you may like. Please go check that out. I really appreciate it. Please go like and subscribe this podcast on YouTube at the New Meta Podcast. Go check this podcast out on Spreaker. Give it a follow. It's SPREAKER.com. That's the first time I've actually ever stumbled that, I believe. If I have before, let me know in the comments. You can create your own podcast there. It's really great, really free and easy. But that's everything I have for today. So I will see you all in the next episode. Bye, and have a great week. Peace out.